For centuries, historians believed the final resting place of Chu's most enigmatic ruler was lost forever, swallowed by time, buried under centuries of earth, and erased from memory by China's first empire. But when a team of archaeologists began excavating a remote hillside in Hubei province, what they uncovered was far more than a tomb. It was a discovery so strange, so unsettling, that it's forcing scholars to rethink everything they know about ancient China. And it all began with a chamber that was never meant to be opened. Beneath the rolling hills of central China, the earth is split open like a wound. The dig site is silent except for the hum of ground-penetrating scanners and the scrape of trowels against packed clay. Locals have always whispered that something slept beneath this land, a king whose rage outlived his kingdom, but few believe the stories. Now, every shovel of earth seems to prove them right. This is no ordinary burial site. The structure beneath the surface is vast, stretching across an area nearly the size of 300 football fields. At its heart lies a sealed chamber whose walls are lined with lacquered wood and bronze, untouched for more than 2,200 years. And yet, what lies within seems to defy every expectation. To understand the tomb's importance, you have to understand the man who built it and the world he ruled. During China's Warring States period, 7 kingdoms battled for supremacy. Among them, Chu stood apart, a land of immense wealth, strange rituals, and fierce independence. Its kings ruled over a territory that stretched across fertile river basins and dense forests, commanding armies that could rival any in the ancient world. But Chu was more than a military power. It was a cradle of unique spiritual traditions and artistic brilliance. Its poets wrote hymns to the spirits of rivers and mountains. Its priests performed elaborate ceremonies meant to guide rulers into the afterlife as living gods. And its kings, believing death was merely a passage to divine rule, built tombs not as graves, but as eternal thrones. Then, in 223 BCE, everything changed. Qin, the rising power from the west, launched a brutal campaign that crushed Chu's armies and ended its independence. Within 2 years, Qin Shi Huang unified China under a single empire. Chu's language, rituals, and even its royal lineage were deliberately suppressed. Records vanished, names were forgotten, and somewhere in that silence, the tomb of its last great king disappeared from history. For generations, scholars thought it had been destroyed or looted. But deep beneath the soil of what was once Chu's heartland, the earth had kept a secret. In 2019, a routine construction project led to the discovery of ancient pottery fragments, artifacts that didn't match any known Qin or Han style. A full-scale excavation began. What they found stunned them. The outlines of a massive complex, its outer walls fortified by layers of rammed earth and stone. As they dug deeper, they uncovered evidence of ceremonial causeways, moats, and sacrificial pits, all signs of a royal burial on a scale never before seen. But the most extraordinary discovery came from the tomb's innermost chamber. Ground scans revealed a structure unlike anything previously documented, a perfectly symmetrical burial mound, with corridors radiating from a central coffin chamber like the spokes of a wheel. Some passages led nowhere, as if deliberately designed to confuse intruders. Others terminated abruptly, sealed with slabs of jade and inscribed with warnings scholars have yet to decipher. When the archaeologists broke through the outer barrier, they expected the usual funerary items: bronze vessels, jade ornaments, maybe weapons. Instead, they found something that shouldn't have existed at all: ceremonial objects inscribed with symbols no known Chinese script uses, astronomical charts showing star positions centuries into the future, and a sealed pit filled with hundreds of miniature bronze chariots arranged in a precise cosmic pattern. Each new discovery deepened the mystery. Why were artifacts from different eras buried together? Why were some inscriptions written in a language that predates even the Zhou dynasty? And most puzzling of all, Why did so many carvings warn that the chamber must remain undisturbed until heaven's cycle turns again? Some experts believe the tomb belonged to King Kaoli, the last independent ruler of Chu, and that the strange artifacts reflect a desperate attempt to preserve his culture from annihilation. Others argue they are proof of a forgotten sect, a priesthood devoted to celestial forces and forbidden rituals. But a growing minority of scholars whisper a darker theory, that the king's tomb was never meant to glorify his life, but to seal away something far more dangerous. And that theory gained weight when beneath the central chamber, scanners detected a massive void, a chamber far deeper than any burial site should go. Whatever lies beyond it has never been touched by modern hands. The excavation team is preparing to break through. And when they do, they may uncover a secret that could rewrite not just the story of Chu, but the story of human civilization itself. The deeper archaeologists pushed into the heart of the Wuwangdun tomb, the more the site began to defy everything they thought they knew about ancient China. The outer chambers had already revealed sacrifice pits, ceremonial ramps, and thousands of artifacts, but it was the central chamber, sealed behind layers of rammed earth and stone, that truly unsettled them. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing more than an elaborately carved coffin platform. But as the dust cleared, researchers noticed something extraordinary. Hundreds of tiny hand-carved characters etched into the chamber's wooden walls. These weren't decorative inscriptions. They were instructions. Step-by-step directions for a burial ritual so complex that it resembled a cosmic map of the afterlife itself. And then came the first mystery. Several sections of text referenced objects that were no longer present. Were they stolen? Removed before burial? Or deliberately hidden deeper within the tomb? The question remains unanswered, but the implication was clear. Whatever this tomb once contained, it might have held power or knowledge far beyond what was ever intended for human eyes. Each detail seemed designed to serve a purpose. Sacrificial horses aligned precisely with cardinal directions. Jade figurines formed protective circles around the coffin. Even the air shafts above the chamber were angled to match ancient astronomical constellations. To the Chu, death wasn't an ending. It was a transfer of power. And this tomb was no mere grave. It was a machine built to transform a mortal ruler into an immortal ancestor. The inscriptions referenced a path of 9 steps, a ceremonial journey believed to bridge the human world with the divine. But what made archaeologists pause wasn't the poetry of the text. It was the warnings woven between the lines. Repeated again and again were phrases like, "Do not disturb the slumber," and "The order must not be broken." Whether these were symbolic metaphors or genuine cautions, no one could say. But the deeper they read, the more they realized that the builders might not have intended for this tomb to ever be opened again. And then, sonar scans revealed something completely unexpected. A hollow cavity beneath the main burial platform. A chamber no one knew existed. Its purpose remains a mystery. Some believe it might contain offerings meant to remain hidden until a future cosmic cycle. Others suspect it holds records of Chu's lost dynasties, or perhaps the emperor himself. Yet, the decision to excavate further is fraught with debate. The chamber is fragile, sealed under immense pressure, and any disturbance could cause irreversible damage. Still, the possibility of a once-in-a-century discovery looms beneath the archaeologists' feet. Do they risk everything for what might be inside, or leave history undisturbed? The deeper implications of Wuwangdun are already shaking the foundations of Chinese archaeology. Some scholars believe this is indeed the resting place of King Kaoli, a ruler whose final years were lost to history. Others think the tomb may belong to an even earlier undocumented king, one whose reign predates recorded chronicles. A more controversial theory argues that the tomb was never meant for a human at all, that its scale, symbolism, and sealed chambers hint at rituals dedicated to celestial beings or forgotten deities. Mainstream historians reject such claims, but the evidence leaves just enough room for unsettling possibilities. And perhaps the most haunting question of all is this: if this is just one tomb, how many more lie hidden beneath China's vast landscapes, waiting to rewrite the story of civilization itself? For now, the Wu Wang Dun site remains sealed beneath the earth, its deepest chambers untouched, its greatest secrets still whispering from behind ancient walls. But one thing is certain: this is no ordinary tomb. It is a message carved in wood, jade, and stone. A story the ancient Chu wanted the future to discover, but perhaps never to fully understand. And as archaeologists prepare for their next move, one question lingers: are we on the brink of unlocking a forgotten chapter of human history? Or are we about to disturb something that was never meant to awaken? If you've been fascinated by this journey into the shadows of the past, make sure to subscribe. More discoveries like this one are waiting just beneath the surface. Share this video with anyone who loves ancient mysteries, and comment below: what do you think lies beyond that final sealed chamber? A king's forgotten legacy? Or a secret the world isn't ready to face?